Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to another episode of Disney Assembled. I'm Troy,
And I'm Mimi.
and we are your happy little father-daughter podcast, here to create joy and share our love for all things Disney.
Disney Assembled is sponsored by our patrons over on Patreon. If you would like to join them, check out patreon.com/DisneyAssembled.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate your consideration for that. Membership starts at only $2 a month, and with that, you get access to all the content that we share over on our Patreon side. You know, you can also follow us on Patreon for free, right? There is a free option, but if you want access to the content that we're sharing over there, sometimes we share things for everyone, right? Because we do have, I mean, there's quite a few people who are following us on Patreon for free, which is great. But yeah, we do share stuff over there. I try to put something out on Patreon. I have been trying to put something out for our patrons over in Patreon every day, Monday through Friday. On the weekend, I typically take the weekend off from that because we try to do our recording on the weekend. I spend a little bit of time I have on the recording, but every Monday through Friday, I try to put something out for our patrons over on Patreon. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out for free and see what's going on there. Or if you want to join, membership starts at only $2 a month. And I think if you join for free, I think I've set Patreon to be able from time to time to give like sample or discounted memberships for a while. So if you wanted to check it out, you could do that. But no big deal. We're glad you're here with us this week. We're recording on Sunday, September 14th, 2025. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Is this my last Disney Assembled episode as a 19-year-old?
I think so. Because you will be 20.
I think
we may
we'll
record one more
next weekend. We'll record next weekend, but it more likely than not won't be out before my birthday, which is on a Wednesday.
Right.
That's cray. Considering when we started this podcast, I was 14.
It's unbelievable.
Now I'm about to be 20, and my interests have not changed. My little college dorm room fan is doing its absolute most, and it's driving me nuts. Give me 1 second to turn it off.
Okay, go ahead and turn the fan off, because I was wondering what that breeze noise was coming through on the headphones. I'm sure the Riverside editing software that we use will get rid of that noise, but it's no big deal.
I actually want you to stop using that a little bit.
Really?
Because I was listening.
I think the sound is coming in really good.
When I listened to last week's episode, when you use the remove likes and pauses feature, it makes it sound really garbled because it doesn't actually erase the whole word. So if I go, it gets really garbled and weird, and I didn't like how that sounded when I was editing it.
I can just stop using that part. You don't have to use it. I can just
like Riverside,
not use it.
What I've noticed about Riverside is when we talk, there's a delay between us, right? Because I'll say something and you're not going to get it until 3 seconds later. And so there's a weird delay, but it records my side and your side separately. And when you download the whole unit, there's no delay from what I understand, but I don't know if that's a result of the editing or not. Anyway, that's not the point. Right. We're back.
That's fine.
This might be my last episode as a teenager. Probably not, though, but we're getting there. Coming up on that. And checking in with the UT stuff. Doing okay. My classes are going well. I feel like they still haven't really started yet. 3 weeks in, and we're still just kind of doing introductory things. I will say, though, the first exam for my stats interpretation class is on my birthday, and I'm really not thrilled about that. And then the second one's actually on my best friend's birthday, and I was planning on just like taking that day off to just sort of celebrate him and not go to class, but guess I'm going to class that day, and I'm taking a stats exam. That's the move.
Get an A. You can honor your friend by getting an A.
Maybe.
I
really don't. I think that would be quite ironic. but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
not a story for the podcast. That's a personal story.
that's all good.
We beat UTEP yesterday. I have quite a few thoughts about Arch Manning's performance, aka BAD, bad, capital B, bad football,
Are we
lazy
becoming a college
football,
football podcast? Is
bad
that what we're
decisions
doing?
football. No, because I'm not like one of those football boys that knows the stats of every player who's ever played college football. Like, I don't know how they
Mm.
do it. I love college football. I love ball. Okay. I'm paying attention to our roster. I know what's going on with us. I vaguely know what's going on with Georgia, vaguely understand what's going on with A&M, kind of understand what's going on with Oklahoma, but I can't come out here and be like, XYZ is happening with Ole Miss this week and it's an upset because whatever. What is an upset is A&M beating Notre Dame, but that's not really the point. Moral of the story is back to UT, back to me. I'm at that game and I'm watching Arch Manning accomplish successfully like 5 connections. And I was like, you were a Heisman favorite for this year. Get it together.
It's a long season.
Anyway,
Maybe
it's a
I
long
think things
season.
will get better. You got to stay
I think it will get
optimistic.
better.
You got to root for the team.
Keeping the faith.
Yeah.
I'm keeping the faith because a team that plays in November is a very different team than a team that plays in September. So,
Right.
keeping the faith there.
Yeah.
And yeah, just getting it's been really weird knowing that like all the things that I'm doing right now are like the last time I'll do them for this school year. Like my sophomore year is coming to a close in December because I'm not coming back here until August.
And for
'cause
people who
of the
didn't
college
listen
program.
to the last episode, maybe you should explain why your school year is ending so soon.
Yes, it's ending soon, not because I'm dropping out or because I'm transferring, but because I'm going to the Disney College program in January. And I am very excited. And I will use any excuse to talk about the Disney College program and how excited I am and all of that kind of stuff. There's a girl in my sorority who just came back from hers, actually. So I'm trying to like hit her up and be like, hey, like, what's the
You
deal with
buy her a
this? Like,
coffee.
am I gonna have fun? Like, yeah. Like, should I be like nervous, like more nervous than I am? But yeah, that's basically
That's
me. That's
fine.
what's going on.
Good. I think that's fantastic. You got a lot going on. Congratulations with all that. I did some math today. The math is starting to math out. This episode that we're recording, I believe, will be 284. I think this is episode 284, which means if we're consistently putting out an episode every week, our 300th will be right near the beginning in January. So potentially right before you head off for the college program,
Wow.
we will get our 300th episode. And so I want to officially, in this episode right now, announce that we are officially on 300 episode watch. It is official. As a matter of fact, I may find like one of those timer apps, like a countdown app to the 300th episode.
Right.
And if we can figure out what day we're going to record it and what time we're going to record it, and if we can stick to it, which is very hard for us, I know, because we have weird schedules. If it was possible to do that, we would do the countdown and we would record live for episode 300. And that way, all of our friends out there who are listening can keep up with the countdown and get to that 300th live episode.
That's awesome.
It's just a thought.
I mean, I will be home.
It's just a thought.
I mean, I will be home because I'm coming
You
home
will
in
be
December
home. You'll be
after
here.
semester. Like, it's not like I'm going to be in school.
Because you
I'm
would
not
still be
going to-
home for the
yeah.
winter break anyway.
Yeah.
During that time.
No, yeah. Winter break doesn't actually even end until after I've already left for the college program.
Right.
So
it's all good, but it's coming. I am officially watching. 300th episode watch is officially in effect because this is episode 284. We got about 16 weeks to go.
that's
Which puts
nuts.
us
That's just
in
so
that beginning of
crazy.
January time period, if we stick to a weekly program. But we have a good program today. Last episode, we talked about the classic rides that Jim and I spit out for you for the Disneyland, Disney World sort of conversation we were having. And then they also put out what they called, was it modern? Was that the word they
Modern.
used? The modern rides. And so there's a few of those we want to talk about today. And I think we said last week that we'd be wrapping up our trip report. We're not really going to do a final trip report episode this time, but I think this episode will give us an opportunity to sort of put a ribbon on just if there's anything that we experienced during our Disneyland DCA trip that we haven't talked about that we felt was worthy of mentioning, that was super special, that we would bring it up today and sort of really legitimately put a bow and a ribbon on that conversation and knock it out. And the reason I'm doing that is because having the conversation about the modern attractions is going to make us talk about our trip to Disneyland. So we're not really out of the Disneyland conversation from our recent trip because of that, but it's all good. We have a trivia question answer to get to. We have a new trivia question at the end of this episode, which is a special one because we made it up. It's like a Mimi original trivia question. Of course, we have well, I think we're only going to have one Disney dad joke of the week this week, as opposed to last week's 3. We had 3 last week. So we'll have one dad joke this week. And so, yeah, we got a lot going on. It's going to be a great episode. Maybe anything else you want to talk about, bring up before we get started?
No, I think I'm going to jump into the trivia question.
Let's do it. Get into last week's trivia question, give people the answer, and then we'll move on.
Yes. So last week's question was the second week in a row that we've talked about Cruella. And the question was, what did the Baroness steal from Cruella's mother, Catherine, in the movie Cruella? And the answer is a necklace. It's a red necklace. And that's like a huge plot point in the movie. So if you knew that, congratulations. You're very smart. I've seen Cruella actually twice because I made my group of friends watch it with me because I was like, this movie's really good. And I know it's like a Disney Plus original or whatever, but like it's so good. Like y'all have to watch this movie. And then as a result, we've been watching Tron Legacy for like 3 days because we keep not having enough time to finish it. Tron Legacy is actually fire. Who was going to tell me that?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Your
are we
brother
watching
and
Tron
I tried
Legacy,
to tell you. We tried to tell you that it was good.
You ask? Because Tron Ares comes out on October 3rd. Why is that important? Because in Houston, I don't know if you know this, at our local theater in Houston, they are doing a Tron Legacy, Tron Ares double feature the night that the movie drops. And my friends and I were legitimately like, we should buy tickets and just stay at your place and skip class the next day. And I said, well, yes, that's a great idea. We should totally do that.
I think what you're talking about, it's actually at the IMAX theater, our local IMAX theater, I believe. And I think it's actually the day before the original, it's the day before the actual release date of Ares. They're doing a double feature because I saw that and I thought about your brother, who's a Tron.
You should take my brother to that. Yeah.
Well, he's got school. He can't stay up there. He's got to go to school and he's got other things to do. We're not going to be able to do that, but
just pull him out of school. He's like a junior. It's fine. YOLO.
I don't think I'm going to pull him out of school so we can go watch it. He's not going to skip football practice and football game or whatever else that night to go to the movie. So we'll have to wait and see, but that's all good. Hey, that is this week's trivia question. We have a new trivia question at the end of this episode, so stay tuned for that. But of course, we have to get to this episode's Disney Dad Joke of the Week. So, Mimi, are you ready for this week's Disney Dad Joke of the Week?
I am.
All right. Ladies, gentlemen, and Disney fans of all sorts, it is time for this week's Disney Dad Joke of the Week. Mimi.
Yes.
I think I have officially stopped collecting pens, like pen trading pens. I think I've stopped that. I want to replace that. I want to replace it. I think I want to start collecting those pressed pennies. I think I'm going to start collecting those pressed pennies, because the change may do me some good.
Yeah, that's good.
Get it?
That one's cute.
Because pennies are change, like the coins are change, and the change may do me good. That is this week's Disney Dad Joke of the week. If you have a dad joke of the Disney variety, if we have not used it before, if it's family friendly and you'd like us to consider using it on the show, send it to us, disneyassembled@gmail.com. I am pointing at it for those of you watching the YouTube version of this episode. Right there, disneyassembled@gmail.com. We'd appreciate you doing that. All right. Mimi, we have a topic. This topic is going to wrap up, I believe, wrap up our Disneyland, not really trip recap, but our conversations that were inspired by
Sort
our
of
Disneyland
centered
trip
around
recently.
Disneyland. Yeah.
And so we
I
have
think we've been slowly moving away from the Disneyland conversation. Slowly.
It's been a
Well, we do a lot of
gradual,
parks discourse. And so now
Yeah.
that we do a lot of parks discourse. So now that we have both parks under our belt, I think we are able to do topics similar to this one, actually.
Yeah. And the truth is, I haven't been consuming a lot of Disney content on the Disney Plus or anything. I mean, I haven't seen Elio. There hasn't been a lot of content in the form of TV or movie for us to talk about. So it's been a lot of parks conversation, which is fine. I mean, I enjoy talking
Sure.
about the parks, but we have a series of 5, I think we said 5 modern attractions that we wanted to
Yes.
talk about this week that both Disneyland in California and Disney World in Florida share. So why don't you kick us off and tell us what is the first one on that list?
Yes. So I'm actually going to go a little bit out of order because the first one doesn't feel super modern to me. Maybe that's just because I'm younger, but it is Star Tours The Adventure Continues. And that ride has been around like since the 80s, right? Like, is the 80s really like what we're deeming modern? Is that really like whatever? That's what
I
Gemini
think
said.
maybe it's attractions that were put into the park after the park was firmly established. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I think it's like attractions using like a completely different kind of technology also.
That could be it. Yeah.
Anyway, like modern technology, which Star Tours is. And the ride's the same motion simulator, the same random sequence of scenes, the same Rebel spy bit. Like pretty much it's the exact same. In both coasts. We were not able to get on it, or I was not able to get on it this time around because it was closed for refurbishment. And I think because they're running tests on the new Mandalorian scenes, which is going to be super cool. But yeah, the ride is like pretty standard in both parks. I think I think it being in Tomorrowland makes more sense than its location in Hollywood Studios. But I think the theming surrounding the queue and like there's AT-ATs and stuff like that, I think really changes like the queue and the experience for me in Orlando more so than in California. I know California has the same like R2D2 and C3PO animatronics that you see as you're walking through the queue, and the queue is the same story. I just think it hits a little bit differently in Hollywood Studios because they at least try to bring you into into the Star Wars universe before entering the story, versus in California, you're in Tomorrowland and then it's Star Wars, so it fits.
So do you have a preference? Meaning the ride is
I
the
guess my
same?
preference would be in Hollywood Studios, I suppose. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I again, we can talk about how weird and chopped up Hollywood Studios is till the cows come home. There's just more theming, and that's a win in my book.
Right. So Star Tours for me, I wish I could enjoy Star Tours more. It is nausea inducing for me. The 3D with the sort of jerky motion simulator, it's very loud. And it's, for me personally, it's hard to ride Star Tours. I mean, I remember getting off of Star Tours back in 2017 when we rode it at Disneyland, and I was wiped out. I mean, I needed a good 15 or 20 minutes to recover from that ride. And so it's not an attraction that I particularly look forward to doing because of that. I mean, I just don't want to feel that way, right? I don't find that to be enjoyable part of a visit to a Disney park, getting off of an attraction and feeling weak and woozy. But I think I'm going to agree with you that I think having the set design on the exterior of the ride at Hollywood Studios, where it looks like you're going on to a movie set for a Star Wars film. Because one of the things, and I did a video about this, it's on our TikToks and I think maybe on our YouTube shorts. If you look at the trees used at Hollywood Studios for the Star Tours attraction, they have trees surrounding the AT-AT, right? Makes you look like you're in
Mhm,
the forest of Endor. There's no
mhm.
tops to the trees. At a certain point, it's just cut flat across. And the reason for that
That's so
isn't
weird.
because Disney didn't have enough money to build a full tree. It's supposed to be a movie set. It's Disney Hollywood Studios. It's supposed to look like the exterior where they're filming a Star Wars scene. And when they film these scenes and they build these set pieces, they don't need to build a fully topped tree if the camera angle that they're using is only getting it so high. It's just going to cost more to build a full tree when you don't need it, right? And so I like those little details for the Hollywood Studios version because in Disneyland it's just in a building in Tomorrowland, right?
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
that's
the
super
ride is
cool.
essentially exactly the same. And I think when the new scenes come out, um, with Ahsoka and Mandalorian and so forth, I keep hitting our studio table. I think it'll be cool. I might try to wear a relief band or put some kind of garlic drops in my wrist or whatever it is you do for motion sickness. Suck on a peppermint or something, and try it out because I do want to see the new
Mhm.
scenes. I think the new scenes are out now, aren't they?
They've gotta
Haven't they
be.
introduced the new scenes? I think
I
so.
think so. I would have seen that on social media, but probably, yeah,
Because I
I
think
would
when you
assume.
tried to ride Star Tours, I was like, "Did you get one of the new scenes?" You were like, "No, I got." Well, maybe it's. I don't know. Well, whatever. It's like I said. It's September 14th, 2025. I don't know if they've done new scenes or not because it's not an attraction I pay a whole lot of attention to. But yeah, I think the Hollywood Studios one with the set design on the exterior
Mhm.
kind of pluses the experience for me. All right.
Yeah,
Anything else about
no, I
Star
agree.
Tours?
Nope, nothing else about Star Tours. The next one is the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters slash Space Ranger Spin. They're both interactive shooting games. You defeat Zurg. There are a few differences in the like game mechanics, specifically like gun design, and then like the way the vehicles are designed, and the queue is a little bit different. Um, in both parks. What else is slightly different? Though the order of the rooms and just like the track, like the track is not exactly the same. But it's essentially the same concept. Um, you go first with this one.
Listen, it's not an attraction that I have to go on. I would love one day to win the Galactic Hero prize. I would love to get enough points to get the Galactic Hero. I got to figure out. I've seen the videos on how to do it. I just can't do it. Um, the ride vehicles in Florida are being redone. Remember that ride is going through a refurbishment in
Right.
Florida. I think when it comes out, it's going to be a better experience than it was before. Um, Look, the queue, you have the buzz in the interior talking and whatever. Listen, if it's a short line and there not nothing else to do, I say go ahead. It's fun. Just go ahead and ride it and go for it. I do like that when you ride the people mover through Florida, they have that little part where you have the buzz and you can see the people trying to pew pew the little lasers. So I
Mhm.
mean, it's a cute attraction. I don't have a preference one park or the other. To be honest with you, I am curious though when the Florida version is renovated and fixed and done, if it is a better experience than it was beforehand. But it's a look, it's a fun ride, and I think it's good that it's in the parks. I wouldn't want to see it go away right now, but because I think the Tomorrowland in both parks need something for children to do, and that's at least
Yeah.
something for kids to do, and it's in a character and it's an IP that kids really like. So, eh,
I think
That's about my
Tomorrowland
thoughts
in
on it.
Yeah, I think Tomorrowland in Orlando is probably a little bit better about having things for kids to do. Because they've got Buzz, but they also like really heavily push Stitch, like the Stitch meet and greet in that area, and like that's a huge draw for a ton of people. But the one in California does have that stage where they do the little shows during the day. So I guess you take and leave where you can. Um, I think I have pretty much the same thoughts. Like the attraction is the exact same in both parks. Like it's a slightly different layout, slightly different this, slightly different that, but the experience is the exact same. I wouldn't wait more than like 5 minutes for it for in any park. Um, I am curious to see if the experience is easier and a little bit more fun when the refurb is done because that shooting mechanism is not easy, and it's part of why we don't ride this attraction very much because we don't enjoy how difficult it is. I had more fun and was more successful in California. So I think my preference has to lean California. I don't know why. Like I don't know why, but I think it's because you can pick the gun up and like take it and hold it versus in Orlando you have to be like it's on the ride vehicle. So you can't like move it. You
Right.
can't like aim it perfectly. So yeah,
That's
those are my
fair.
thoughts on Buzz.
Cool.
We are moving right along and going into Soarin' Around the World. The ride system and the show are the exact same in both parks. Um, we missed out on Soarin'. I think this kind of gives us the answer, right? If you have any more thoughts, I'll feel free to share. But we walked up to Soarin' and it said Soarin' Around the World instead of Soarin' over California. And we said, we've done that a million times and we didn't even go on it in California.
Yeah. No, we didn't
They're
do it in
they're the exact
California.
same. I think
Yeah,
no preference either way.
I think the video has been not updated new, but something maybe I just dreamt this, but maybe
No, I read
you know how
something
in
about them
certain
fixing the
scenes where it gets
crooked
a little warped,
Paris.
yeah, that
Yeah.
they fixed that a little bit. So listen, I enjoy Soarin', but I didn't need to go on Soarin' in California if it wasn't different than the one in Epcot,
Yeah.
because I was looking for a different experience for Soarin' there, and it wasn't. So we just didn't do it, but it's fine. I mean,
I think the
I
concept
enjoy it.
of it, yeah, I enjoy it too. I think the concept of it fits better in Epcot. Like the idea that you go around the world and you see all these sites, like that is Epcot to me. But the concept of like soaring and like flying and like that kind of stuff, that fits in California. I really just
Well,
think it'd be better if they kept Soarin' over California in California Adventure. I think it would fit a lot better in that
what's in
space
that
than
part of
Soarin'
the
Around the
park
World.
that's celebrating California? It's the Grizzly Peak.
Right.
You're coming out of California, the Grand Californian Resort right there. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the around the world piece I think fits better in Epcot, whereas
Yeah.
Soarin' over California seemed to have fit in Disney California Adventure,
Hmm.
but it's not what was playing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I prefer it
So I
in
guess if I had to
Epcot.
pick, yeah, Land Pavilion, Epcot,
You
gotta
could
love it.
take that ride out of California and replace it with something different, and I don't think anyone would complain. Well, no, let me take that back. Someone would complain. There's always someone who complains about something,
But
but I
the
don't think it
loss
would
would be
make.
really felt in
Well, you
Epcot
would
for
replace it
sure.
with something. I mean, maybe that's an episode, a
Yeah.
different topic for a different episode. Like, what would you replace here, right? Because we know there's other things
Yeah.
coming to DCA, but that doesn't seem to be a plan for that part of the park. But that's not a topic for this episode. Maybe we can talk about that in a
Yeah,
different one. But
that's later.
yeah, all right. Those are my
Yeah.
thoughts on Soarin'.
Okay, next, I've got Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. The ride experience and the objective are the exact same. Pilot, engineer, gunner. Galaxy's Edge. Let's talk about Galaxy's Edge as a whole, I think, actually, because Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run and Rise of Resistance are both on this list. And they are exactly identical in both parts. Like the layout of the entire land is exactly the same in both parks.
It is, and I don't know if that's a missed opportunity or if it's because it was so expensive to build one of them that it was economically more intelligent to just duplicate in both parks, right? I have no idea
Right.
I don't have any insight. Um, they are exactly the same. So when you're talking about the two different parks and the two different rides, like Smugglers Run and Smugglers Run, it's the same in California as it is in Florida. Rise is the
I don't
same in
really want to go on
California as
either
it
of
is in
them.
Florida. Right.
Okay,
I'd say
but
the
Rise
difference
has a
is,
slightly different
uh,
experience.
well, it's
You
a
go
different
though.
experience because it worked.
Right.
I mean, the
That's what I was
fact that
gonna
the
say.
ride worked makes it different. Smugglers Run was exactly the same. And of course, Smugglers Run is going to be updated. As a matter of fact, when the Mandalorian and Grogu movie comes out next year, I believe the plan is on that day that the movie is released, both parks will have the brand new Smugglers Run experience available where I believe the engineer picks the adventure. Like there's a certain part of the ride where the engineer is going to have to decide which direction to go. And you're either
That's
going to
cool.
go to this world or this world or this world. And then you'll take off and it'll be one of the different adventures. Right. Which I think is a
That's
great
really
concept.
cool. I think I would
I
really
think that's a
like that
perfect way of
attraction
doing it.
better if it wasn't the exact same every time.
Well, what it does is it gives the pilots a very specific role. It gives the gunners a very specific role. And now the engineer, rather than, because I'm usually the engineer, you just keep pressing the same button over and over again. This way, you actually have an important role in the story of the experience, right? You get to decide where everyone's going to go. So I think just in general, when you're talking about the two parks, you're looking at the margin. So what are the differences? Well, there's more characters that walk around. There's different characters that walk around in Florida. You have Ahsoka, you have Boba Fett, you had Luke Skywalker. None of those characters walk around in Florida, right?
Right.
You also have the different exits and entries in California, right? So instead of just the two on each side, you also had a third one that exited out, in different directions. So the exits are there. And then you had the nighttime show. They don't have the nighttime shows in Florida, right? They have
Yeah.
the nighttime shows in California. So even though the layout and the concept is exactly the same, there's more to do in California than there is in Florida in terms of meet and greets, the nighttime show, and so forth. So I would say because of that, I mean, maybe you give the edge to California for Smugglers Run because there's just more to do when you're actually in the land. But if
Mhm.
you're looking at just the ride itself, I don't think it matters one way or the other.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. I just have a lot of nostalgia and love for that Orlando Galaxy's Edge because that's the first one and we were so
Right.
excited and it was so like I know my way around that place like the back of my hand, okay? That is has X's on it right now, but that's because I went to the Broadway rave yesterday. I'm a minor, which is fair. Anyway, that was so fun. They played Broadway music the whole time. Anyway, but in California, it felt more, almost more immersive. And I hate to say that because, like, everyone dogs on how horribly uh, Hollywood Studios is laid out. And I'm such a defender of that. But compared to California, like they're right. Like the blend from Fantasyland and Frontierland and Adventureland, or I'm sorry, and like Critter
Bear Country.
Country,
Yeah.
Bear Country,
I
whatever,
mean,
um,
Bayou Country. Something
Bayou
like that.
Country into Galaxy's Edge works really, really well. Like way, way better than the Toy Story stuff does. And it because of that, because it's such a quiet part of the park also, like maybe it's just because we were there in the afternoon, but there weren't many people and like it's super far away and the train doesn't go there. Like it really felt separate from Disneyland, which we talked about being a con of it, which is true because you got to walk all the way back there. But once you're there and you're looking at the immersiveness of it, it's a total win. And
Right.
the character choices are definitely better there for sure. Like meeting Ahsoka was one of the highs of the whole trip. And I've been talking about the fact that California has that meet and greet forever, like since it started. And I was so jealous of it. Um, And of course, the elephant in the room, Rise of Resistance works in California. And that was awesome. Like we got off of it and I was like, it worked. Every single scene was on the guns. They were firing. Like in the Kylo Ren, like every single scene worked and it was so cool.
You said
Gotta
the
give it to
elephant in the room.
California.
I thought you were going to say that they had a Dumbo sighting at Galaxy's Edge, but guess
No,
not.
that would be bad.
All right. What is the next modern attraction?
It's the next and last one, and I have lots of thoughts. It's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. The trackless dark ride is the same at both parks, same story, same pre-show, same everything. What drastically puts California's over this one is the theming and the location. I think the concept in Hollywood Studios with the Chinese theater works because it's like a theater and you're going to see a Mickey and Minnie show and then you get transported into it. And I think that works really well. Like I'm not arguing that it doesn't. But the El Capitan Theater in Toontown next to Mickey and Minnie's house, there's no beating that. Like it just makes so much more sense. It's still in a theater, okay? Like so you still get the story with that, and there's no like the Chinese theater just feels very like sultry, and it's not a sultry ride. Like it's a goofy ride. But I think by far, like if none of that was true, if they were both in Chinese theaters and whatever, they have all the Mickey short relics in the queue line. Like I don't know if you've actually stood in the queue line, Papa,
Mhm.
but Mom and I did. And the whole bit with Mickey Mouse is that he's an actor. He's acting in all of these shorts. Like that's the whole thing. And so they had all these like props from his movies that he's done, and like they had the beanstalk, and they had his hat or his whole outfit, I think, from Fantasia, and it was like when Mickey Mouse started Fantasia. But of all of those things, they had the Mouseketeer from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They had the actual little machine and they had a little Toodles. And that was just everything to me. I was raised in the like late 2000s, early 2010s. Like those were my early childhood years. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was on Disney Junior and on what came before Disney Junior? It was called something else briefly, and then it changed like
Well,
right
the
when I started
Disney
watching TV all
Channel.
the time. It was on the Disney Channel, like, and it doesn't run anymore, and it's just this classic animation. Hot dog, hot diggity dog, like became a huge part of our family's like lore, and like it's just so important to me. And seeing that was so freaking cool. And the theming of the El Capitan Theater is so freaking cool. And Toontown is so awesome. I just wish it wasn't overrun with kids. I loved it. It's so much better in California.
I like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I'm not going to get into the whole great movie ride replacement rant. We've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that Disney leaned into the meta in California that you just described, that here is a fictional character, Mickey Mouse, that they are portraying as a real thing in the world, which technically, I guess it might be, but Mickey doesn't really exist in the real world. But this fictional character that exists in the entertainment universe is an actor playing a role in these shorts and in these films and in these TV shows called Mickey Mouse. Like he's Mickey Mouse, but he plays Mickey Mouse in all these adventures as an actor, is
Right, like the
really kind of
Mary Tyler
mind
Moore show.
warping around all this, right? Like, so the Mickey Mouse you see walking around the park is an actor playing roles in Mickey Mouse shorts around the park. And
like Mickey Mouse himself did not experience all of those things. He's acting in those things.
Right. It's not like biopics. It's like
right.
he's an actor being paid by the Walt Disney Studios to act in these shorts and in these films and in these shows. But it's a character who's playing an actor that's playing characters created by the studio, that's asking the character they've created to act as a character in the productions that they want to do. It is really very, I don't know the word for it. I mean, Inception-esque.
Meta's
It's like
correct. Yeah.
it's very weird how they do
A
this.
dream in a
But you have to
dream.
really be paying attention to pick up on all that. It's not, they don't put it in your face that way, because they also want to make the land and the experience easy for children to just enjoy, right?
Mhm.
But if you're paying attention, like you and I were walking through the queue and saying, oh, that's what this is. Oh, that's what that is. Then you start to see the story. And I think it's brilliant what they did with that. So hats off to the creatives over at Disney and Imagineering and all that good stuff. I like the ride in both parks. I think it's a really good, it is, I just think it's awesome, because it's all the main characters, and they get a chance and they get a role in this ride, and it's a fun ride, and it's not a quick ride, but it's not a short ride. It's, the timing of it is really good. I enjoy it when the technology is working. When the dance scene with when Daisy is actually working, it's just a lot of fun. So, do I prefer California? I don't know. I think it's harder for them to lean into sort of that meta explanation of who Mickey Mouse really is in Florida. But
I think it's possible. I think they just really didn't want to gut the Chinese theater, and that space is a lot smaller than the El Capitan theater. And so they kind of have to work with what they've got. That's why the queue is mostly outside for that attraction. Um, yeah, I think it's just one of their most. I think it's a flawless piece of Disney Imagineering storytelling. Like
yeah,
that ride experience from the minute you walk in to the minute you walk out, um, is one of their perfected pieces of work. There is not a single thing about it that I would change.
speaking of change, let's change the topic a little bit. Is there any other experience that you recall having on our trip to California that you feel we haven't addressed, that you wanted our listeners to hear about, or anything in particular that stands out in your mind?
Not really. We talked about Paint the Night, and I got really passionate about Paint the Night and talked about Tiana's, talked about Ahsoka, talked about Cars Land, Avengers Campus. I don't think so. I think we hit all the bases for the things that were really important that I bring up intentionally. They might come up, things might come up like as we continue our parks conversation, because we do a lot of parks
Mm-hmm.
episodes. But no, I don't think I have anything else for trip report. What about you?
Not, I don't think for this episode. I think maybe for our patrons, I'd like to have a discussion, maybe, because it's not a very long discussion. I don't think it's worthy of putting into a full episode, but we didn't dive very deep into the food. And I know that there are people out there who consider the food in California superior to the food in Florida. I think that's debatable, and we can have that debate at
Yeah,
some
I really
point.
didn't feel that way.
I also, you know, we didn't talk a lot about our experience staying in club level and using the club at the Grand Californian. And maybe there's some conversation to be had there about that, but not, I don't think it's enough, to add into this episode right now. I think it would feel disjointed given the
Yeah.
topics
And
that
this
we
episode's getting
just went through.
long.
Yeah, we're about 45 minutes in. This is about when we try to start to slow things down. So, yeah, I think great conversation. I think this wraps up I think this will put a bow and a ribbon on anything related to our most recent trip. Now we're going to shift our focus towards the countdown to 300, getting you ready to go off of that college program, and us trying to figure out what we're going to do about the show while you're at the college program. Maybe that's a conversation for later as well. But yeah, lots of good stuff coming up. Weather's going to be changing soon as we move into fall. And of course, I'm sure everyone will be interested in your college football experiences
Yes.
and thoughts
Everyone
given
needs to be
what's going on
interested
each week.
in University of Texas college football.
Well, I think
All
some people
eyes
are,
on
and some
Texas.
people may not be. So
All
it's
eyes
all
on
good.
Arch Manning.
Whatever team you root for, if you root for anyone at all, good luck to your team, unless they're playing in Austin against
Yeah, unless they're
Mimi's
playing
team.
us, good luck, and I
Yeah.
hope you do well. Unless you're a Sooner or an Aggie,
I should
then
also mention that my alma mater, the Rhodes College Lynx, won their game this week against the
yay,
Austin College Ruse, right? Austin College,
yay.
which is not in Austin, Texas,
No, it's in
which
Dallas,
is kind of
right?
weird. It's up in the Dallas Fort Worth area up there. But yay, go Lynx.
Yay.
Good stuff. All right. Great episode. Maybe we're up 45 minutes in. You want to do the virtual high five and take it to the house? Here we go.
Wait,
Virtual
I gotta
high
do
five.
the trivia question.
I know, but you can do the trivia.
Oh, the high
do we
five
have to,
first?
We'll do high five now. Okay. We did. Okay. The delay on the high five makes it really awkward, but
That's
you have a
okay.
trivia question plus information on how people can get in touch with us. So go for it.
Yes, I do. So this week's Disney trivia question is an original to us because we didn't pull a new card out, and that's on us. So this week's question is, what is the name of the original attraction that was replaced by what is now Mission Space? So if you know what came before Mission Space, or if you have any thoughts, comments, opinions, questions about this week's episode, please feel free to send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or you can find us on all socials, all at Disney Assembled, all of them except for Twitter. Don't look for us on Twitter.
We're not
But
doing
if you
much
guys
with
want to
the
support
Twitter
the
right
show,
now. Yeah.
no, not with the Twitter. But if you guys want to support the show further, the link to our TeePublic, Patreon, Buy Us a Dole Whip, all that other stuff is on the website, disneyassembled.com. Make sure to go check it out.
Yeah, please do. We'd really appreciate that. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in supporting the show further, Patreon, like Mimi just said, $2 a month will get you access to that. We have a YouTube channel. We're gaining subscribers. I've been posting, just like I post to the patrons, I've been trying to post something to the YouTube channel Monday through Friday, whether it's a short or a relatively short regular video. But check out our YouTube channel, also Disney Assembled. If you haven't subscribed there, we'd really appreciate it. But of course, the thing we really need your help with is, listen, the world is a messy place. We need more joy in the world. We need more happiness. We need to bring more smiles to the faces of both children and adults alike. We hope that this episode does that for you. And if it does, we need your help spreading that joy to other people. And one of the best ways you can do that is by leaving a rating and review if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'd really appreciate your consideration for that. But of course, telling your friends about the show and sharing our posts on your own social media also goes a long way in helping us create more joy in the world. So again, we'd appreciate your partnership and your support for that by just doing those simple little things. But of course, we just love the fact that you're enjoying the episode that we just put out, the one we just recorded, because we had fun doing it. We hope that you had fun listening to it. All right, maybe one more high five, right? Should we do that?
Yes.
All right, there we go.
The delay is crazy.
I tried to time it up a little bit better. So I think the initial,
It's okay.
then the pulling away was whatever. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, Disney fans of all sorts, we hope that this episode brought a smile to your face, some extra magic to your day, and that very important sprinkle of pixie dust to your week. Thank you so very much for listening. And until next time,
see you real
see you real soon.